Other interesting political news, you have a trans activist defacing Yosemite National Park and going viral. This brought to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, in which she says, quote, radical trans activists are flying a giant transgender flag at Yosemite National Park to promote the idea that trans is natural. And to protest Trump. They're defacing government property. This needs to be removed. And she hashtagged the National Park Service, who I was going to say probably a couple months ago were probably all in favor of this and was supported. I'm actually surprised. The National Park Service has 1.4 million followers. That is incredible. Not to brag, but I have 300 and something on X. Though I would argue it's all about quality, not quantity. I have, as Trump would say, the best followers. Look at me on the X, the Topping Show, and the Rumble, and even the YouTube. And this is about 47 seconds long. And it's, I'm sorry, I should put a visual disclaimer, horrifying. But yeah, there's someone in a, I almost thought it was Guy Fawkes from V for Vendetta with that face. But I think they just have about 18 pounds of makeup, which, incidentally, who would have thought? I mean, sales would nearly, skyrocket in blue and purple hair dyes. Talk about, and those flags. I mean, those industries have to be booming while the rest of the economy is struggling. A lost opportunity to invest, unfortunately. So you have a drag queen dressed up in a national park uniform that the lapel name tag is called gay. It has rainbow, what are all those things called? Sweatbands on the wrist? I haven't seen those in a while. And the iconic hat that Smokey the Bear has. But without too much further ado, let's hear what it's saying.
Some carry hate, we carry the largest trans pride flag to ever be flown in a national park and unfurled it on the side of El Cap to prove a point that trans is natural. The Trump administration and transphobes would love to have you believe that being trans is unnatural, but species that can transition sexes can be found on every continent and in every ocean on planet Earth. So call it a protest, call it a celebration. We are bringing elevation to liberation. They try to erase us from government websites and education systems and libraries. So we raise this flag higher than ever before so every trans person knows that they have people that love them in their corner. The people united will never be defeated.
Wow. I was going to say, talk about a rudimentary design of a flag, but it's gone viral. How many of those flags have been sold? Thousands? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions maybe? Now, the only silver lining of this situation is that it's moderately a peaceful protest. This isn't, you could debate the anchor mounts for the actual flag, but at least they aren't using paint for once, so they're not actually, causing too much of a permanent damage. At least it's moderately a peaceful protest, although I'm sure it's going to be a pain in the rear to actually take that thing down. And yeah. Horrifying. Now, this got about 500,000 views and 8.9 thousand likes. And one of the first comments comes to us thanks to Sarah Smith, who says, quote, these people are seriously sick. There's a trans flag and says, quote, there's no such thing as a trans woman or only mentally ill men pretending to be female, getting 447 likes. Yeah, interesting how they always want to read books to kids at the library. Never, old folks at the nursing home who could use an extra friend. Junia Broderick says, quote, send a drone with a torch on it, getting 893 likes, which, in terms of ROI, in terms of resource allocation, that might actually be the best bang for your buck. Because again, sending a person up there, there's legal liability. There's a small, depending on your skill set, a small chance they could fall and, get injured or die. That actually might be the most expedient way to solve it. You have Doge AI saying, quote, national parks are for natural beauty, not political stunts. NPS wastes tax dollars on woke displays while infrastructure crumbles. Cut the virtue signaling. Focus on conservation and visitors. Defacing public lands isn't a protest, it's vandalism. Getting 182 likes. James Swad says, quote, these people really want people to know they are mentally ill. There's just a screenshot of the gentleman with, well, I'm not going to lie, that is pretty good hair. I'm not sure what kind of drugs, hormones, or extensions or magic things are going on there, but very long, lustrous, what do they call it? I'm not trying to think of the shampoo commercials that I don't see anymore. What is it? The hair has good body, something to that effect. I've been getting the same shampoo for over a decade. I really don't research much. Well, that got 255 likes. Mega Forever says, quote, it needs to be removed, getting 240 likes. James Swad says, really? Then why does it require unnatural surgery and drugs? getting 234 likes. Ant, I don't suppose it's an actual ant, it'd be very hard to type. Even with the strong lifting capabilities of an ant, I don't think they could jump on that keyboard. Nevertheless, this alleged ant says, quote, hope this weirdo gets eaten by a bear, getting 251 likes. Sons of Liberty 357, an exceptional American cartridge for a pistol. Well, I suppose you could argue for a lever action as well. Though, I was going to say most people when it comes to classic cartridges would say God's cartridge or 45 ACP is superior, but another topic for another time, perhaps. He has a picture of Dr. Seuss, but it's in, doctored of a Dr. Seuss book, and it says, Dr. Seuss, if you're born with a dick, then you're not a chick, getting 21 likes. Barry Megan says, why are there child abusers loose national parks? Kind of, I read it differently when it was said to keep this moderately family friendly, and it got 276 likes. American Natural says, quote, natural, like these examples. And you have a objectively beautiful woman with an American bikini. Some would argue, sure, well, France may have invented the bikini, but America perfected it with our flag, the most glorious bikini. It's got the stars, it's got the stripes. And there's a horse under her. And then there's a juxtaposition of the picture of Dylan Mulvaney in a one-piece swimsuit, which F- for, I don't know who invented that. And then under Dylan Mulvaney is not a caricature, but it's the horse costume where you have two people. And that got 24 likes. Scroll down more and more. Based Electrician, great to see him in the comment section again. He says, quote, excuse me, Mr. Gay? That's Ranger Gay. Well, Ranger Gay, your balls are showing. And he zoomed in down to the lapel label, like, again, instead of the person's name, does just say gay, getting 17 likes. Paul Zupa says, quote, this is vandalism. Well, pop up there, and needs to result in criminal charges, getting 83 likes. Skeleton Da Vinci says, quote, trans is natural, takes massive amounts of hormones and drugs, getting 407 likes. A conservative alternative says, quote, schizophrenia is natural too, so is anorexia, but we don't affirm their delusions, we get them help, getting 74 likes. Yep. But I was going to say not to be too pessimistic or, negative. However, there's also Big Pharma who loves the trans initiatives because, again, they get a customer for life. And again, I hope everyone gets the help that they need. In this case, I would think, maybe having a couple extra friends in your life, or I'm really not a fan of too much therapists, but yeah, let's just say permanent damage that can result from drugs. Again, not a doctor, but I'm concerned about, getting these people to become customers for life of Big Pharma. And again, you look at the suicide rate pre and post-op in terms of the operational procedures they claim will fix how they feel. It's the same. So I would argue it's actually helping them because, again, the rate at which they end their lives prematurely is the same. And I think different methodologies would be best to help them. You have Curtis Johnson says, quote, trans is natural, injects artificial hormones, and undertakes drastic surgeries. These parks employees do not know what nature is. Fire them, getting 36 likes. Let's see. That makes sense because, quote, why are these people so insistent on getting others to accept them and their ideologies? It's almost as if they are not confident in their own beliefs and need others to reaffirm, getting 90 likes. Yeah. Not seeing too many. Again, I'm scrolling, trying to find some contrarian statements here. A lot of people just doing, up close images of the individual's uniform, or it's not actual uniform, it's a bastardized one. Storm says, what's the penalty for defacing national monuments in national parks? Getting 97 likes. Well, I was going to say that the Trump administration, there's actually a modicum of a chance that this person will be prosecuted. A lot of people just have videos of drones taking out bees' nest, getting 19 to 30 likes. I was going to say this silver lining this situation, for the first time in maybe a decade plus, Yosemite National Park is getting some, viral marketing. For better or worse, people now remember that place exists. And again, it's one of those things where all these parks are beautiful. I wish I had more of a time allocation or resource allocation to go visit them. Side effect being a workaholic and small business owner, usually don't have time for vacations or those fancy things. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this person will actually be charged? Will the flag be taken out immediately, or will it just stay up for days, weeks, or months? Let me know in the comments because, as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.